$1,000 paycheck. Not bad for a high school junior. From Atlanta, this has been Newswatch.
The Great American Tune-In is brought to you by Light Bright. Turn on the magic of colored lights. Light Bright from Milton Bradley.
Light bright, turn on the magic of colored lights. Light bright, make a face to glow at night.
Just pop in the colored pegs and follow the patterns. It's easy to make beautiful pictures with Light Bright. Or create your favorite characters with Light Bright refills, like Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Tailspin, and The Little Mermaid.
Light bright, turn on the magic of shining lights.
Light Bright from Milton Bradley.
There's a new pet.
Chia.
Chia Pet, the pottery that grows. It's fun and easy. Soak your chia, spread the seeds, keep it watered, and watch it grow. And now grow a whole collection of fun with chia teddy bears, puppies, kittens, rams, bulls. There's even a chia tree to keep your pets company. Chia Pets and Trees, the pottery that grows.
The Chia Pet and Chia Tree are available at Kmart, Walgreens, Eckerd, and Thrifty. Makes a great gift.
This here freight train, he Pablo, me, I'm Motif. There's only one drink fat enough to quench our thirst, and that's Turbo Sport 7.
Cut! Genius! The can's upside down!
Don't talk to me like a child. I played Hamlet at Cambridge.
Once again, you've ruined my concentration.
Excuse me, what's my motivation?
When you're thirsty, trust your gut, not some actor.
That's it! I am going to my trailer.
Товарищи члены партии, мы должны все как один приложить максимум усилий для достижения нашей...
Something revolutionary is happening. It's new Doritos Light, Ruffles Light, and Cheetos Light with 1/3 less oil. Soon, they'll be taking over parties everywhere.
What'd you buy?
Oh, you'd be surprised.
When you go to California, nothing surprises me. VCR. Okay, Seth.
You'll see.
This week at Caldor, you'll see all software for use with the Commodore 64 and 128 computers on sale at 25% off. The Pollenex foot bath for $19.99 after rebate, and the Pollenex Splash Dance AM/FM shower radio for only $17.40. You'll never not find it at Caldor.
Sega challenges you with the ultimate video game, the Sega Master System.
Hang on!
With more accurate control, more detailed graphics, more levels of play.
Awesome!
The Sega Master System comes with power-based 2 control pads, light phaser, and 2 great video games, Hang On and Safari Hunt.
Gotcha!
And with other games like Rambo, Outrun, and Choplifter, the excitement never stops. The Sega Master System. The challenge will...
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Culture Vulture Radio. Sean has work at 4 in the morning. I just got home from New York from drill for the National Guard, so I took tomorrow off and I said, fuck it, I'll do a show. I didn't really want to do one today, but I got home late and I'm fucking bored. So I went out to eat and I got a really good business. Oh, sorry, my vacuum fell. I got a really good business buzz going on. So let's fucking do this. Let's get into it. How was everybody's weekend? I hope your guys' shit was fucking good. I got some cool news this weekend. So I am finally down to the last, after today, 5 months of my National Guard contract. This is it. We're in the home stretch. And I drill out of state. I drill 160 miles away, but I keep my stuff stationed in New York because you get better pay. So it's a drag to just go out to Long Island all the time. And it sucks too because I hate these fucking I turn notifications off, the computer updates. It sucks too because I've been in the same unit since 2017 or 18. Pablo's in the chat. What's up, Pablo? Everybody's in the chat tonight. I've been in the same unit since, I got out of basic, which is the 69th in New York. It's an infantry regiment. And there's been cool shit there, and it's gotten fucking gay with, all the DEI shit, which they really do push. I was offered a chance to go transfer to the Pennsylvania Guard, and I turned him down because I had a family member, I think in the late 1800s, who was in the 69th, and I was like, oh, fuck, I'll just stay in there. I'm just stay there as an infantryman. But we are finally down to the last 5 months. So cheers to everybody on that one. So, that was a good one. Let's get into the good news. My contract ends June, which is awesome. 6 years is a long fucking time. I was just offered today by a supply sergeant that I go with him to Fort Drum for 2 weeks, and we collect a bunch of shit all around Fort Drum, stuff that is supposed to come down into Long Island, inventory it. So 2 weeks or 10 days. If it's approved by battalion, the rest of my days or the rest of the drills that I have to go to, I don't have to go to anymore, which means effectively I would be cut out March. March would be my last, or when I get back March 1st, that's it. Contract's over. I don't have to go for the other 5 months. So we'll pray. We'll see. If not, then whatever, man. I go to the field a couple more times and I hang out with my buddies. I mean, we've had a great time. I never really talk about the Army service stuff when I'm on here because it's I'm in the National Guard. What did I really do? I haven't done anything. It's a weird thing. You get to meet friends that you never thought that you would hang out with and shit. Oh, dude, so P. Fletcher already talked. NATO is now doing a 90,000 European troop deployment mixed with U.S. to simulate World War III. You can look that up. They're not going to take me. It's over for me. It's too late. They have too many new bodies. It is cool if I get out early. Well, I wouldn't technically be getting out early. I would still have to serve till June. However, because I did those 10 days, they can't technically count as something they call a SUDA. I wouldn't have to go back. At the same time, it would suck because I have guys like my friend Chris, who he was in a couple years before I got there, and then we've been friends ever since. I have a bunch of buddies who were there before I got in that they re-up their contracts. Then their contracts end right about a month, the same month as mine, but a different day. And it would really suck because I really love those guys. But at the same time, if I could just get out March 1st and just that's it, there's time served, I'll be the happiest fucking dude in the world. Like I said, I just got home at 7:30. So I literally showered. I went to the fucking bar I go to. I ate. I had a couple beers, and then I was like, let's do the fucking show. I was in a good mood. And then, like I said, Sean's on here tonight, so it's just you and I. We're gonna do a regular show and shit. I got something towards the end for Pablo. I can't find the second part, But I gotta, there's a couple things to get into, and like I said, man, let's just hope this works out March 1st, because then that's it. There's no more times on the weekends where I'm like, oh, it's gonna be hard to do a show next week because I got to go out and do stupid fucking gay shit. Which, by the way, this drill, dumbest fucking thing, and I'll tell you why. My unit, majority of my unit just came back from Kenya. So you're in something after you deploy called a 0 year. 0 year means that you are barely training. It's like a R&R year almost. Like you still do shit. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of it's admin shit. So the Army goes through phases of crawl, walk, run. They're in 0 year, and we got a new captain, and he was like, oh, it's 9 degrees outside. You guys are going to go outside in the snow and hang out for fucking 15 hours. And it's like, why? Why would you do that? So after he did that today, they probably had the most, I think they said after this weekend, they had the most contract declinings. How do I turn that off? Or how do I turn it on, Trippy? I don't know what you're talking about. Let me see what Trippy's talking about. Where did I find that? Sorry, Bangas, no Bangas. I don't know. Trippy would have to tell me what he's talking about because I don't know, dude. You're talking to a dude who's kind of like a fucking 32-year-old boomer, man. I barely. But anyway, yeah. So a bunch of guys froze their fucking balls off. I'm in the last few months, and I really don't care. And plus, like I said last year, I was kicked out for 8 months for not getting the COVID shot, the C shot. Sorry, YouTube. And I got to call my captain a faggot to his face and get kicked out for 8 months and then get back pay. So I really don't give a shit. And when they told me that we had to go outside, I just was like, nah, I'm good. And I got to sit inside and I watched fucking Reacher for a day and a half. So we'll see what happens. But hold on, let me see what Trippy's talking about on my phone. Let me see if I can find this. I don't know what he's talking about. Sorry. You know I'm kind of retarded, right? Turn it off. Is it on YouTube, Trip? If it is, I'll just fucking go there and do it. Let me see. Hold on, let me just, before we move on with the show and all that shit, I just want to make that announcement because I think that's pretty cool. And it may not be so exciting to you guys, but to me, it was kind of cool to just get that news after after thinking about it this entire time. Like, damn, I would rather not come anymore. Well, not that way. I would rather come all the time, but my uncle's not here. See, I think I know what he's talking about. No, I have no idea what the fuck Trippy's talking about. That's weird because usually we're on the same page about things. Sorry, man. I don't have my glasses on. I'm fucking blind, so I'm doing this really blind. And everything's falling on my desk, which is even better. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. What the fuck is rating? Maybe it's this. Oh, fuck, I closed it. Hold on. Sorry, dudes. Give me 1 second. I just want to figure out what the fuck he's talking about. It means Israel sells out our secrets already. Yes, they already do. I got in trouble for that too, by the way. When they asked me, like, hey, why wouldn't you rejoin? Like, is there anything holding you back? And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm not dying for Israel or fucking Ukraine. And they were like, that's not true. And I was like, yes. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. What the fuck are you talking about, you fucking idiot? And they were like, oh. Yeah, I don't know what Trippy's talking about. That sucks. Hopefully he answers back. I'll text him on the side. But either way, we are we're here. We gotta no Sean, no glasses. I'm running the show. I always run the show. No, but Sean's got work at 4:00 and he hasn't slept in a day because like his kid's been sick. So I asked him, and he was like, I knew he didn't want to, and he was like, "Nah, I don't want to do a show." And I was like, "That's fine, dude. I got it. Like, let me just go get something to eat and drink, and we'll fucking do this." So it sucks doing the show on the weekend. I wish I didn't have to work all week, and I could fucking like just do the show with you guys a couple days a week, because then I'd be able to catch you up on news that's actually relevant. But I'm sure you guys saw this. Saw this. Sorry, New York shit.
Just moments ago, Alec Baldwin, the actor, has been indicted in New Mexico on 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter stemming from the shooting deaths on the Rust movie set. He's been indicted in New Mexico, 2 counts involuntary manslaughter from that Rust movie set. We're starting to get some more details right now. Mercedes Colwin is joining us. Mercedes, what we're learning so far is that this grand jury has indicted him. This just happened today on an involuntary manslaughter charge. Remember, this goes back to 2021 on this fatal shooting.
So I always knew, I think originally, never saw it coming. Jesus fucking autist. God damn it. I think originally they wanted to, maybe I'm wrong. I thought they wanted to charge him with murder, which was stupid. I think even at the time I was like, you can't charge him for murder. Murder is premeditated. There was a bunch of people on the right, and I don't like Alec Baldwin. I'm obviously not a lefty. There's a bunch of people who are like, hey, we should charge this guy for murder. Obviously, out of spite and being a fucking, they were trying to use leftist tactics, which is just fucking so gay. We got to stop doing that. It's manslaughter. He's not going to see anything from this. Nothing will ever come down from this. Hey, Connor, have you seen the recent footage? Yeah, Pablo, that turned out to be a fake. That's like some Project Bluebeam shit. I'll play it if you want. With the Alec Baldwin shit. Oh, sorry, my echo's still up because I was fucking with Sean. I'm sorry, my echo was up because the other day after we did the show, I looked at Sean and I was like, "Run, Luke." So I have to turn that back down. It's dumb that they play it. They shouldn't even play it on the news because it's kind of like a slap in the fucking face. At this point, if you or I did this, we'd be charged with murder. We'd probably be on the first 48 or some Inside Edition shit, like, or whatever inside crime thing. Yes, restitution. Yes, that is the best way to put it. He is going to pay restitution, and that's it. Or he's going to see time served probation, some dumb shit like 200 hours, and then he'll never have to show up. You or I did this, we'd be so fucked. I do want to see the footage from that shooting, though. I have been dying to see it. But he's not going to see anything from this. And I think the quicker people get this through their head and they accept that celebrities have a different status to the point where they can, the quicker they can accept it, I think the quicker we can all move on. Because the thing with the news is they will push 55 narratives a second or whatever it is just to keep you distracted and going. And there's a bunch of other shit that goes on. So this is one of those things that was recycled. It's relevant again, and nobody really gives a shit. He's not going to see anything. He fake cried. If you ever see the interview of him in the police station, they go, "You shot." She's dead. He goes, "Oh my god!" It's like, no, nobody acts like that, dude. They'd have us right in the lightning if they did. Yeah, dude, we'd be fucking Sing twins. Like, we'd be over. It's like politicians. Like, I say this all the time. Like, if you or I did the fraction of a shit that a politician did to get money for a speech, we're going to jail for embezzling. Actors don't know how to act. Yeah, well, that's why he kind of fucks up there in that police interview. But ain't shit gonna happen to Alec Baldwin. He's gonna be fine. This is gonna happen for a year or two. He'll be tainted for a year or two. Everybody's gonna forget about it, and then people are gonna get an erection when they see that Alec Baldwin is in another movie or when this movie releases.
Shooting during a rehearsal on the movie set in New Mexico. This obviously brings back and revives what has been a dormant case against this A-list actor. Your reaction?
It's great to be on with you, Sandra. It is not surprising. I mean, obviously there was a death involved in the
did you hear that?
There had been a...
Did you hear that? Hold on. Somebody on the news is using a computer and didn't turn their mic off. And if you listen very closely, you can hear a mouse click.
Great to be on with you, Sandra. It is not surprising. I mean, obviously, there was a death involved in this shooting. There had been a lot of focus on whether or not Alec Baldwin actually acted recklessly, which is one of the underlying pinnings of an involuntary manslaughter charge. And when he was handed the gun and he didn't check the gun separately, except he just accepted the fact that that gun had no bullets in the chamber, and therefore it resulted in this fatal shooting. So it is not surprising the prosecutors have been pretty aggressive from the very beginning, especially when there's a death involved. And involuntary manslaughter doesn't mean that he intended to kill anyone. It was that he exhibited reckless conduct with respect to the handling of the gun that resulted in this fatal injury.
Again, like,
hey, Mercedes, it's John here.
Hey, Mercedes, it's John here. Do you know where you put the batteries to the remote? Because I can't seem to fucking find them. No, but as I said, I just don't really see how this is his fault. And again, I don't like Alec Baldwin. I think Alec Baldwin is a liberal cuck pussy. I really do. But to say that he was reckless holding a gun is kind of stupid because it was supposed to be an empty gun. I mean, obviously, any guy who handles a gun knows you always check the chamber. You never fire a gun you've never used before, you're not fucking comfortable with, all that shit, all that stupid shit. Sorry, I'm just checking something. So, I don't think it's not his fault. He's not a gun dude. If you ever look at Baldwin, he is the biggest pussy in the world. I'm sure people fan his balls. Like, I'm sure he's never wiped his own ass. But to just sit there and be like, yeah, this is his fault and it's reckless. Like, no, not really. No, it wasn't. It wasn't his fault. He had a bunch of stupid people under him. I'm not defending him either, because I would love to see this fucking idiot in jail if he did something wrong. It's just a really unfortunate thing, and I'm sure he's not going to see anything from it, like I said. And to just call it reckless on his part's kind of stupid because he didn't do anything. That's like you driving a car and you didn't know somebody gave you their car to borrow, but didn't tell you the brakes were cut, and you try to brake and kill a family. And somebody's like, well, it was reckless driving. And you're like, but how? I didn't know the brakes were cut. Let me see. Yeah, you're right, P. Fletch. We're not whores. They are whores, and they get away with it.
It looked for a while that Baldwin was going to escape prosecution. And then the local authorities said, no, wait a minute. We've got a new analysis of the situation and the weapon as well. So we want to take this information and put it to a grand jury. Alec Baldwin had insisted that in the rehearsal that he pulled back the hand.
I will be honest with you. When this first happened, when this first thing came out, I thought maybe they were trying to use him as a distraction. Because when did this happen? This is not the end of is this the end of the Trump presidency? Let me see the Rush shooting. Let me look up the date. Sorry. 2021, October 21st. So this is a year into Biden. We'd have to look up what was happening around that date. I thought this was a distraction at first for something, and I was like, yeah, this has got to be a fucking distraction. It obviously wasn't. It was probably just a real accident. He's got fucked. My boy got fucked. He got fucking pinched. Which, by the way, Alec Baldwin, you haven't been funny since fucking 30 Rock, my guy. And before that, you weren't good since fucking Beetlejuice. You were fucking horrible in the fucking Tom Clancy movies where you just went, I'm a submarine driver and I'm gay.
Hammer of the pistol, but did not pull the trigger, that the gun just somehow went off. It would seem that authorities probably have disagreed with that.
Exactly right, John. And that is the pinpoint of this prosecution. He did make certain statements publicly that he never pulled the trigger. And then the ultimate question was this.
That could fuck him. I will give him that.
If he didn't have his finger on the trigger, how could the gun have spontaneously
fired? All right, so P. Fletch nailed it. I'm going to look into it before I totally confirm it. But he's got to be right. He says more Hunter. I should have worn my glasses. More Hunter and Joe Biden news came out on the wire. Isn't 2021 October? Isn't that before the offensive for Russia? Isn't that right before they started pushing that the Russia's losing shit, or is that before the Nord Stream? The armor should face charges. I agree with you on that because so the armor and their pals went out drinking and or shooting the guns and never unloaded them. First off, let me tell you something. I have a room for every gun in this house. And if I bring one out to shoot it, not only do I unload it, I clear the chamber. When I get home, the first thing I do is I disassemble it and clean it. So I know for a fact there's nothing in there. I don't know how you make that fucking mistake. You're supposed to be an armorer. You know, it's kind of, in certain states, very difficult to get an armorer's license. So I want to know, it's human error, but it shouldn't be his fault. And like I said, for the record, Alec Baldwin is a fucking fruitcake.
The prosecutors worked with some forensics to look at whether or not this particular gun could have discharged automatically without the pressure of a finger pushing the trigger. And it's obvious that they concluded that that's just not possible. And that's one of the reasons why they were able to convince a jury to at least indict him at this point.
This is really incredible because, to John's point, this is all relying on brand new analysis of the gun that was used. And this analysis was led by a forensic science service in Arizona. They stated that although Baldwin repeatedly denied pulling the trigger, saying, quote, given the test findings and observations reported here, the trigger had to be pulled or depressed sufficiently to release the fully cocked or retracted hammer
She said
of the
cock.
evidence revolver. So basically what they're saying they did here is they pulled together parts, replacement parts, to resemble the gun that was fired by Baldwin after parts of the pistol were broken during the testing by the FBI, it says. The report examined the gun and markings it left on a spent cartridge to conclude that the trigger had to have been pulled or depressed, Mercedes.
Exactly right. So looking at that, Sandra, that's one of the reasons why they probably were able to get the...
I gotta pause this again. So first off, these guys should never ever be talking about guns. Anybody on the news, they've never fired one. Remember that video? God damn, that's gotta be fucking 7-8 years ago now, where they had the CNN anchor fire the AR and he said that it was the worst thing he's ever experienced. He had trauma. What a fucking pussy, by the way. First off, AR-15s are fucking weak as shit. They're fucking weak. So that guy was a pussy. These guys know nothing about guns. There are freak accidents. I have a shotgun in my room that you can throw it, you can bury it. It will still shoot. However, I have tested the theory. Oh, no, it wasn't the shotgun. Sorry. Actually, it was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, we were at drill one day, and I told somebody that if you take an M4, you load an M4 and you cock it back. If you take your hand and you hit the side of the M4 real quick, it will fire a bullet. It will knock the spring loose and fucking fire a bullet. Anything could knock around a gun and fucking fire it. These guys on the news they don't know anything about guns. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And I don't think they should be, for political reasons or for knowledgeable reasons, be talking about anything with firearms involving this case. I think they should just be speculating on the charges. And that's it. I'll hear, even it's Fox. Like, it's dangerous to listen to them because these are the same people who push for certain laws and shit. But let's hear what they have to say.
Indictment. And you're right about these types of forensic analysis. They're not stagnant. As we continue day to day,
oh my God, I got it. I got it. It was an FDA approval for a certain thing. There you go. That's what they approved 2 days before. I knew it was I remember it being something big, and I could never remember what it was. But I thought you were right with the Biden shit. But no, FDA approved full. FDA approved it full time. I gotta move on. I gotta read the chat, and I can't see anything because I'm blind. But how they always describe the situation, they always sound like I've always felt Alec Baldwin was being a complete dick and being bitchy. And this is how you do it. That's what I thought at first, and I even made fun of him on Twitter for it. No, it just seems like they were just like shoot at the camera like the old Great Train. I always I'll pull the clip up. I always picture the Great Train robbery. Fuck the Fox News and this shit. This is what I always picture. It's the end part of this, and I'm probably right. This is probably what they were going for. By the way, that's 1903, and that was considered the scariest shit to ever come out. Dude, they're fucking scared out of their fucking mind. I always have a feeling that's kind of what they were doing, like a throwback. I don't think he was being. I thought at first maybe he was being bitchy, and then I was thinking about it, and I was like, nah, they were probably just trying to do some throwback thing to Great Train Robbery. That's what I would have did. I mean, Goodfellas did it. At the end of Goodfellas, when let me see if I can find that clip. I'll have to fucking mute the sound on that. If you look up Great Train Robbery, Goodfellas.
And that's the hardest part. It's different out here. I average nobody. My life like a schnook.
Even Martin Scorsese did it. So everybody's done it, and I thought maybe that's what they were doing. Yeah, no, Nicky Santorno's Casino. Goodfellas is Tommy. You have to differentiate the two because it's two separate roles and it's two great fucking movies, except for I feel worse off watching Casino when they beat him in front of they beat his brother in front of him. And he's like, fucking Nicky died. They found him in the fucking cornfield. He still had dirt in his lungs because he was still alive. And you're like, oh, that's fucking terrible. Jesus Christ. Casino's the one where he's about to get made, and he's like, and that's the day Tommy was shot. I'm Ray Liotta. I like fucking nicotine. So, yeah, I always thought maybe that's what they were trying to do with the whole situation with Baldwin was just like, hey, let's do this fucking Great Train Robbery thing. It's like a gimmick, and everybody's kind of into throwbacks and shit. And nobody will know this, but it's kind of niche. Obviously, it didn't really fucking work. Let's get on with it. Oh wait, hold on. Let's see. Every time I say get on with it, this is exactly what I think of, by the way.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Oh, I am enjoying this scene.
Get on with it.
Oh, what a fucking dumb little reference. But yeah, let's talk about this stupid thing because I called this a while ago. I knew this was gonna fucking happen, and kind of turned out to be right. So you love it, yeah, dude. All the Monty Python references. It's one of my favorite things. Not even talk about Holy Grail. I can't stand Alec Baldwin. No one can. Alec Baldwin's a fucking douchebag. Why would anybody like him? He just talks like this and goes, "I'm Alec Baldwin. I'm the best of the Baldwin brothers. Suck a cock? No. A cock sucks me." He's like a real life Don Draper dude where he's like, what would you do if a guy sucked your cock? Is it him sucking your cock? Or you getting head? The holy hand grenade. 1, 2, 5, 3, 3. 30 Rock was, that's what I'm saying. He hasn't been funny since 30 Rock. 30 Rock was like that one, and it's funny because he plays a conservative in 30 Rock, and he's so good at it. What's up, Pablo? You're back. He's so good at being a conservative, and that's why sometimes I'm like, this guy has to secretly be conservative. I think he saves face in Hollywood by acting liberal, but come on, man. You play too good of a conservative. In order to do an impression of something good, you have to have some affinity for it. You can't hate somebody and do an impression of them. You have to have some sort of affinity to do an impression correctly. You have to study their mannerisms and their vocal cadence and all that shit. It's like years ago. I used to be able to do a good Christopher Walken because I idolized the dude, and then I met him and I realized, Jesus Christ, you definitely killed Natalie Wood. So I stopped that shit quick. But he had to at one point been like, oh, I'm a Republican. And then people were like, you can't say that in Hollywood. And he's like, I'm a liberal. So I don't know. I might be wrong, but I think last year I was just like, this is kind of like what's going to happen. And then I think after Iowa last week, I was like, this is definitely what's going to happen. The dude that played Ron Swanson. Now, so the guy who plays Ron Swanson is Nick Offerman. And people have asked him if he's conservative. And he's like, no, he kind of not all the way, but he does align with his Ron Swanson character for the libertarian views. But there are some things he's super left on. So, but he doesn't really talk about politics. He talks about them God, once every blue moon in an interview. He's very rare about it, the way he does it. He's not one of those dudes that's like, I'm a liberal or I'm a libertarian. Like, it's just like, oh, are you really a libertarian? Yes. You're like, oh, okay. Which, by the way, funny enough, the dudes from South Park were asked if they were liberal about 8 years ago, and they said, no, we hate liberals. We're conservative. And the guy interviewing them laughed, and they said, no, seriously, we really are conservative. Like, they're dead serious. They used to be libertarian, and then they went full conservative. I just don't think they talk about who they're going to... They're smart. They don't talk about who they're going to vote for. They tell you what they are, and you can kind of see it in the episodes, but they don't ever be like, we're endorsing this guy. It's just like, no, we don't care. You don't need to know our private life. We're just going to make a funny cartoon once a week, and that's it. But yeah, I called this last year, and then I called it last week. I think I called this last week. One of them was going to drop out, and this happened.
From Florida, the warmth of being home is a reminder why I've chosen public service. From joining the United States Navy and serving in Iraq, to representing the people in the U.S. Congress, and now serving as governor of Florida. And it reminds me why I decided to run for president, to fight for those who've been forgotten in this country. This is America's time for choosing. We can choose to allow a border invasion, or we can choose to stop it. We can choose reckless borrowing and spending,
bad at reading
or
the
we can choose
teleprompter.
to limit government and lower inflation. We can choose political indoctrination, or we can choose classical education. These choices are symptoms of the underlying struggle to ensure that constitutional government can endure and that Western civilization can survive. And we launched this campaign to bring accountability to government, regain sovereignty at our border, and restore sanity to our society. We cannot succeed as a country if we allow our nation to be invaded, our currency to be debased, our cities to crumble, and our kids to be indoctrinated. The DC elites who facilitated this mess do not care about you, and they do not work for you. They work for themselves. They seek to accumulate power at your expense to pursue an agenda that is harmful to the American people. Citizens do not serve politicians. It is the duty of politicians to serve you. Talk is cheap. Actions speak louder than words. Reversing the decline of this nation requires leadership that delivers big results for the people we are elected to serve.
No, I'll get into that too.
I have a record of leading with conviction, championing an agenda marked by bold colors, delivering on my promises, and defeating the people who are responsible for our nation's decline. That is the type of leadership we need for all of America. Now, over the past many months, Casey and I have traveled across the country to deliver a message of hope that decline is a choice and that we can, in fact, succeed again as a nation. Nobody worked harder, and we left it all out on the field. Now, following our second place finish in Iowa, we've prayed and deliberated on the way forward. If there was anything I could do to produce a favorable outcome, more campaign stops, more interviews, I would do it. But I can't ask our supporters to volunteer their time and donate their resources if we don't have a clear path to victory. Accordingly, I am today suspending my campaign. I'm proud to have delivered on 100% of my promises, and I will not stop now. It's clear to me that a majority of Republican primary voters want to give Donald Trump another chance. They watch his presidency get stymied by relentless resistance, and they see Democrats using lawfare this day to attack him. Well, I've had disagreements with Donald Trump, such as on the coronavirus pandemic and his elevation of Anthony Fauci. Trump is superior to the current incumbent, Joe Biden. That is clear. I signed a pledge to support the Republican nominee, and I will honor that pledge. He has my endorsement because we can't go back to the old Republican guard of yesteryear, a repackaged form of warmed-over corporatism that Nikki Haley represents. The days of putting Americans last, of kowtowing to large corporations, of caving to woke ideology are over. I thank all of our passionate supporters who have stood by us through it all. That we had people volunteer to come to Iowa in the middle of a blizzard to knock on doors and make phone calls touched us dearly. No candidate had more thrown at him, but no candidate had so many committed volunteers and staff. Finally, I want to thank my wife, Casey, and our kids, Madison, Mason, and Mamie. Casey's gone far above and beyond in her support for our campaign and for our cause. She's not only a great wife and mother, she's a great American who cares deeply about the future of the country that our kids will inherit. Our kids have seen and done a lot on the trail, from playing on the famed Field of Dreams baseball site in Iowa to making their first snowman in New Hampshire. They are one of the reasons we fight so hard for what we believe in. Winston Churchill once remarked that success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts. While this campaign has ended, the mission continues.
Whatever. Fuck this dude. I called it. His mic was a smoke. Yeah, of course. Not 100% of it autist, but I was like, he's going to drop out and support. It was just like one of those things. Like, he's going to drop out and support Trump. He has done the dumbest shit, I think, in the past year and a half. I think what happened is all these guys thought that maybe Trump would be completely indicted and he'd be thrown out of the race later, Pablo, in the show. And I think they all hopped on that. They smelt blood and they were like, fuck it, let's do this. I gotta fucking move this mic. Unfortunately, I think the Democrats filed all those lawsuits way too late. They should have filed them the day of or the day after that of January 6th, and they didn't. He's not going to get VP. Ain't going to fucking happen. I thought Vivek would have gotten it, but then I don't think he has too much of a control on what he's doing. I could see it being... God, who would he pick? He'll probably go woman because that's popular. Maybe Elisa Stefanik, which is weird. But he's going to do something. Or Ben Carson. He'll try to get that vote. Something weird's going to come down. But yeah, I think DeSantis even knows, like, damn, he's going to show you his nips. I hope so. And Coulter, yeah, she's like, the Donald Trump. He's going to do something weird to save his face on that. Ben Carson's awesome. I love Ben Carson. Ben Carson had a really good tax thing years ago when they asked him about taxes. He said, it's like a church tithe. Just pay 10%. And that was it. And that's not like sales tax. He's just talking about income tax. No sales tax or anything else. Yeah, I think DeSantis wants a higher role, which would leave Florida open. But I think DeSantis is stupid. He should have waited till 2028. If Meth Chick were to become a vote big auctioning, maybe a hand Coulter, Jesus. I think DeSantis should have waited, though, till 2028. I think he stepped in too quick. I think they all stepped in too quick. I hate Haley. I think Haley would have had a shot in 2028 had she just kept her mouth shut. She would have gotten the endorsement from Trump. Again, all these people who sat there and they're like, fuck him, let's jump in. Like, now he's destroying you. Iowa was an obvious thing with that. I guarantee he sweeps New Hampshire next week. So that's my thoughts on that whole fucking thing. And do I think Trump has a chance of winning? Probably. As long as a lot of Domino's or Pizza Hut isn't ordered that night, then sure. We would just really have to... We would have to pray that... All I'm saying is before the election, buy stock in Domino's or Pizza Hut. Yeah, DeSantis would be good as something else. I think Vivek would be a great press secretary. If he just went out there and just yelled at everybody all day and then threw shit at them, that would be fucking hilarious. And then Trump can open the first fucking Trump 7-Eleven Mega Mart. Think about that for a second. That'd be fucking cool. This is another thing with politics. We'll get out of this shit, the politics shit, real soon. But I had a comparison to make for this. So apparently, dumb fucking... Oop, my fucking green screen's fucking up. Apparently, old Donnie Boy made a gaffe, and then I read about the gaffe. I'd like to see... Dude, if he picked Rand Paul, he would definitely get the libertarian vote. So, I mean, that would be really cool. Or imagine if he just picks Ron Paul. He's like, I'm picking Ron Paul. So I want to say it. And he'd be like, oh my God. Dude, Vivek as press secretary now would be fucking awesome. But so old Donnie Boy made a gaffe, and then I think Nikki Haley used it against him. But he confuses Nikki Haley with Nancy Pelosi, and Nikki Haley afterwards was like, his age is going to get him. And this is what
Haley,
do
you know they destroyed all of the information, all of the evidence, everything?
I just
deleted and destroyed all of it.
Economy. Are they playing right now from Van Halen in the background? Oh God! Oh my God!
So, you know, Nikki Haley. You know, did you know they destroyed all of the information, all of the evidence, everything, deleted and destroyed all of it, all of it,
what he said
because of lots of things. Like Nikki Haley is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people.
Oh, okay, maybe you did.
Soldiers, National Guard, so whatever they want. They turned it down.
You mean just Indian Daramuth? Everybody, Daramuth's in the chat. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, I would. Daramuth is a cool fucking dude. He does great interviews. And, I was on his show 3 weeks ago, and I had a great fucking time. It ended up becoming an interview to just a discussion. It's like a good old talk, like two friends were just sitting down. God, look at those teeth. Nancy Pelosi looks like she brushes her teeth with a fucking grenade. My pug has better teeth.
I wasn't in D.C. on January 6th. I had nothing to do with the Capitol. It's things like that. He said multiple times that he ran against President Obama. He didn't run against President Obama. These things happen because guess what? When you're 80, that's what happens. You're just not as sharp as you used to be. To go away. You're ready for the mail to stop. You're ready for those text messages to stop.
Gonna lose so bad.
And they always say, like Haley, she talks about, yeah, we don't need 80-year-old. Well, I don't mind being 80, but I'm 77. That's a big difference.
I will say this: my grandfather, I'm not defending this fucking idiot either, but my grandfather was. I have a picture of him at my house before he got cancer. He was 69 or 70 years old. If you've ever seen a pallet of shims is about, what would you say, 200 pounds maybe? I know it's little shims, but it's a whole pallet of them. So it's about a quarter pallet full of wood. I think it's about 200 pounds. There's a picture of my grandfather in his early 70s picking one up to his chest, but it's extended away from his body, and he's got these huge biceps, and he's just laughing. So, I mean, like, I get it. Like, you could say all the shit you want about age, but I know there's such thing as old man strength. I don't think she should say anything about age, because there was a time in this country where they questioned one dude's age, and then he had such a joke that was so, my grandfather is 99 and has the mind. Yeah, it just matters who you are. It's probably genetics, or it's probably the way you raise yourself, because my dad retired 4 years ago. My dad's going to be 70. My dad worked 55 years. I think he's been working since he was 15. My dad doesn't drink at all. Like, he used to drink. He went back to drinking for I think a month or two. Like, he had a couple beers to try it out and then didn't like it. But like, my dad's old. And the things he can remember from when my dad has a photographic memory. Like, he'll describe, and he was telling me about this. I'll say the guy's name that he hung out with, because I mean, I don't have any connection to the dude. My dad used to hang out with this dude named George Cerisi in Sable. And my dad can describe what they were wearing, where they were, what time it was, what day of the week it was, what year it was, how my dad broke into the train station, how he turned on all the lights, how they threw the party, and what they did to clean it up, or if they left it. Like, my dad is that sharp. 69 years old, he remembered something from the 80s, because my dad's one of those guys, he loves collecting Lionel trains. That's just who he is. He's been doing it since he was a kid. He's got the 1922 Lionel trains and shit. He's got all of them in the boxes. My dad just collects. But my dad remembered something from when he was a kid on how to fix them. And there was a dude, I can't remember the dude's name. The dude wrote a book. And my dad emailed him and said, hey, by the way, your book is wrong. Like, the way on how to, you see where the autism comes from? Hey, fuck you, man. My dad goes, hey, you talked about fixing a 1973, whatever it is, or no, 1928 Lionel train, and the wiring goes this way. You're actually wrong. It's this, this, and this. And the guy had to issue a correction with my dad's original email and all this shit. So, like, it doesn't matter about age. It just matters who you are. I think the only thing that really keeps Trump's mind the way it is razor sharp is the amphetamines. My dad is train gay. Oh, I think you said, I don't have glasses on, train guy too. I think you said train gay. That would be even better. My dad's train gay. Hey, watch out. Hey, don't talk about gays. My dad's train gay. But, yeah, it's just, you know, I think it matters who you are as a person. Plus, like I said, Trump's using amphetamines. That's fucking awesome. At that age, to just get up and pop a fucking amphetamine and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna fucking sit there and fucking remember a bunch of shit." Don't worry, Pablo. We're getting to that thing I was talking about. I can't find the second half. I'll during the next video. I'll during the next couple videos, I'm gonna find it for you, Pablo, because I think the second half actually. Damn, it looks like the new logo for fucking Twitter looks like the X videos logo. If I can line this up. Come on, there's gotta be this. Oh, I found it. Yes. Can I keep this? All right, let me see if I can do it this way. Hold on 1 second, fellas. Edward Curtis. Where the fuck did that go? Civis? What the fuck type of last name is that? Might have to copy the. Hold on, give me 1 second. I want to get this lined up because when I show Pablo, it's one I want to close on. What I'm going to show you is cool, but then when you go to the second part of it, you're like, God damn it! Why did they make it gay? If I can erase this, sorry about that. I'm not going to do it that way. One second. I'll play this. Well, it's only a minute clip, but I'll play this in the meantime. So when I came to age, I was talking about. Sorry about that. I got sidetracked. Put a chick in it. Put a chick in it. Make it gay. I will play this because again, when it comes to the whole age thing, if anybody is, I know Pablo. By the way, you're not on politics and shit like that, but show kind of runs on politics and then goofy gay shit. I mean, this is 1980. By the way, you know what sucks? Like, I'm gonna show, like I said, we're showing a very old, stupid fucking clip. It is funny, but there was a part. There was a time in American politics where they could sit there and they could get into a debate and all that shit, and then they could sit there and laugh about it. It wasn't so serious and attackative. Like, I'm not, look, don't get me wrong. Is it funny? Of course it's funny. It's fucking hilarious. 2016 was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. I've never seen guys who were in politics for 50 years get shit on. That is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. I've never seen so many people get their spirit broken. I found the goddamn and God fucking damn it, fuck this guy. It was funny. 2016 was great because 2016 was like watching a bunch of dudes who have been so professional their whole life, watching some dude come in like basketball players, and then some dude comes in and just starts like doing layups and shit, and just totally fucking just beating the shit out of them. And you're like, oh, this is fucking great. I can't wait. And then it ruined it. What we thought we had was the greatest thing of all time. What ended up happening is we ended up opening this weird fucking wormhole, and we are so fucked now. Like, we're so beyond fucked. Why can't I get this fucking video? God damn, man, this sucks. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find this because I want to line this up for Pablo and shit. Pablo is always. Oh, there we go. I mean, it's this isn't it. Let me see if I can refresh. But 2016 was cool, and then it ended up just really fucking sucking because did I find it? No, but I'll show you the picture. I had the picture. 2016 was awesome, and then like I said, it ended up sucking because it ended up opening this whole new thing. Like, Trump did it first, and then all of a sudden, all these dudes came out and they're like, "Well, we can just be mean," but they're not good at it, and now it's just boring. It's like we've seen this. I've already seen this whole thing. Adderall 2014, Adderall 2024. Hell yeah, man, I'm in for it. I've done Adderall once in my entire life. I was supposed to get prescribed it, and then on my 21st birthday, one of my buddies gave me an Adderall 30. He was like, "You should try this and see if this helps your ADD. I don't want to use my prescription." Coincidentally, on my 21st, so he probably planned that. I drank more that entire night than I've ever drank in my I drank more that entire life in that night than I have in my entire life. I mean, like, me and like 5 people killed 100 Jello shots. We killed a couple 32 cases. I went through a carton of cigarettes, and then I woke up the next afternoon at 4. And yes, Daramuth, actually, Daramuth, I'll hit you up after this because I'd like to talk to you about. Yeah, I'll talk to you after this. I ended up, yeah, we did so much shit that night, alcohol wise, and then, like I said, I smoked a carton. I woke up the next night or the next afternoon at 4. So I went to bed at 9 in the morning, woke up at 4, and I was fine, which is weird. That never happens. And I was like, "Oh shit, Dan Snott's in the fucking chat," and I was like, "Damn, Adderall's fucking strong." So I hate drinking fun for 2 or 3 hours and you feel like shit the next 3 days. Yeah, your age you do, and at my age now at 32, 30. Am I 32? At 32, I'm starting to get that way where like a day after, if I drink way too much, I feel like shit the whole next day. I'll feel fine for a while. Like I'll go to work and I'm going around and then I'll start eating and then I'm just nauseous. And I'm like, dude, if I don't make myself puke, like I'm not gonna feel good at all. So I get that. But as an Irish dude, man, like I don't know, like my family can kind of drink forever, and I don't drink every day. I'm not one of those dudes that. Nah, I don't like that. So you need still young. You need to build your immunity. I can kill a whole liter in a night and be fine. I just don't like drinking every day. I think there's dangers to that. So I keep it to like Friday, Saturday, and obviously I just came back today for the first time, and I'm off tomorrow. So tonight will be my night. I'll sit there and drink and play Bannerlord or Yakuza because I think I have to finish it. I think the new one comes out next week. But going back to before we got sidetracked with Nikki Haley talking about Trump's age, now he made a gaffe. So in the 1980 first presidential debate, Reagan made numerous gaffes, and then 84, and then Walter Mondale was like, "Hey, this old fucking queer is way too old to be president." And then this was his response.
Your question to President Reagan. Mr. President, I want to raise an issue that I think has been lurking out there for 2 or 3 weeks and cast it specifically in national security terms. You already are the oldest president in history, and some of your staff say you were tired after your most
Hit me
recent
up before you go to bed.
encounter
Tell me
with
what you want to talk
Mr.
about beforehand.
Mondale. I recall
Jeremy.
yet that President Kennedy had to go for days on end with very little sleep during the Cuba Missile Crisis. Is there any doubt in your mind that you
Everybody
would be able to
subscribe to
function in
Darren Booth.
such
That dude fucking rules.
Not at all.
Hold on.
Mr.
I
Truitt
talked
and
about that.
Is there any doubt in your mind that you would be able to function in such circumstances? Not at all. Mr. Truitt and I want you to know that also I will not make age an issue of this campaign. I am not going to exploit for political purposes my opponent's youth and inexperience. If I still have time, I might add, Mr. Truitt, that
Can I get rid of that?
it was Seneca or it was Cicero, I don't know which, that
Oh,
said,
shit.
if it was not for the elders correcting the mistakes of the young, there would be no state. Mr. President, I'd like to head for the fence and try to catch that one before it goes over, but I'll go on to another. I've been collecting.
So I miss that. I miss that old spirit that we had at one point. And it sucks too because there's an interview. God, when did they do it? It was like 15 years later. I think maybe 2000 something. They were talking about something. They talked about you watched that live. Damn, Benza. I forget you're that old. But then again, Benza sent me a picture of him for an injury shit. 07 Dan Snot. Is he out? Oh no, I did. I thought he was leaving. There was like that whole thing, like with they, like I said, they interviewed. Sorry, I got lost in my thoughts. They interviewed Mondale years later, and they were talking about that whole exchange. And they asked him what he thought about it, and he was just like, "Oh, yeah, I knew at that point that the '84 election, I lost it." Even he laughed. He even said it. Even I laughed. But like, it used to be like kind of civil. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I said before, like 5 minutes ago, 2016 was fucking hilarious. It's funny to watch a bunch of people in politics who have been there their entire fucking life, making millions off of us while they do absolutely nothing, get knocked down a peg. That is the funniest thing. I really don't think that Trump was supposed to win 2016. I believe that in my heart of hearts. I didn't vote for him. I don't vote. I take the George Carlin approach, where if you vote, you have nothing to complain about, and if you don't vote, then you have everything to complain about because you didn't have a say. So I always take that approach. I never vote. But I don't think he was supposed to win. I really don't believe that. And I think that he was making fun of people, and then the people in the country were like, "This dude's fucking awesome. He is funny." And he ended up winning. It was great, but we are going to, and I said this after he won 2 to my mom. I was like, we're going to pay for this. After the election, like we stayed up all night, like we watched it. Like we couldn't sleep. It wasn't because we couldn't sleep because we were excited about the election. We just couldn't sleep. Like it was just one of those nights. So we ended up watching the election, and then I think it was like 12:30 on the East Coast. I was like, holy shit, Mom, he won. And we were laughing, like we were just laughing hysterically. And I was like, we're gonna pay for this as Republicans. We're gonna pay for this. Let me know. Hold on. Let me before we go on, give me 1 second. I want to make sure I get this. I might be able to do Wednesday night. Mr. D Ball Money in the motherfucking chat. They were making us pay before the election. They were making us pay because of the response to Trump actually getting the nomination and climbing in the polls. But after he won, I looked at my mom and I was like, we are going to pay dearly for that. And we did. How many people who idiotically did the fucking J6 shit are still in jail? They're never going to get out. Even if Trump got in office tomorrow, they're not coming out. Just sucks. That's the way it is, and we're going to pay for this forever. I mean, look at this. They even label anybody who's a Christian or anybody who just talks about being a Republican, you're automatically tied into that MAGA thing. That was the dumbest thing to come out of that campaign, was the whole MAGA thing. Because now you're roped in. Except for Ray Epps. Yeah, but Ray Epps was a Fed, and we all knew that. Everybody knew that going in. There's videos of people being like, you're a fucking Fed. But they literally tie Republicanism or right-wingism to MAGA. They've done it in Germany. They did it with, what's that new fucking political party that's coming up? Is it ADF? Am I right on that? ADF? Now they're calling ADF Nazis. They're not. They're not even right-wing. If you really read about them, they're just kind of centrist, and they just don't want immigrants. There's nothing wrong with that. But every person who just even kind of wants Trump in, it's like, oh no, you're a right-wing MAGA extremist. You're on a watch list. Also, as much as like, look, when I was younger, I used to love Reagan. And I'm not even that old, but I was like, damn, this dude's fucking Bolsonaro in Brazil. With the dude in Argentina, white Christian nationals. Yep, WCNs. That's all we are to them, and they're going to put us on a list. You're going to be flagged, and that's it. There was I will say this: I do like Reagan. It sucks that he destroyed fucking California. And he did do more, like the automatic gun ban's the dumbest thing in the world. You know what's fucked up? He banned automatic guns during the height of the fucking Coke wars in Miami. So the drug lords who are coming into Miami can get full Uzis and kill each other in malls. And you couldn't have anything like that. Kind of fucking dumb. Kind of fucking gay. Hey, what's up, Trippy? What's up, Notre Dame? Reagan is the reason all the crazies are free to run around. Yeah, he did that during that fucking Cuban thing. He also did it beforehand too. I think we did it. God, I'm trying to remember. We did it before the Cubans. We did it a bunch of times because a lot of people. You have to remember, during the late 1800s, early 1900s. If you ever want a really cool thing to ever read about, I'll give you a wrench. I'll give you a wrench right now, Trippy. Sorry. Yeah, he did no fault divorce. Dude, Reagan, as cool as he was, look at Reagan is Trump. Trump and they're Reagan. They're like the same person. Great economy, shit fucking policies for social things. They try to do a centrist thing, or they try to appease both. They end up appeasing more the left on social, and they end up giving you a good economy. That's a really shitty thing because if you think about it, the economy is temporary. It always has been. Trump had a great economy, fantastic fucking economy. Probably one of the best ones we've seen in 21 years, I would say. No, since 2000, 2001. Policies were shit. And then what happens? Policies stay in place. Economy goes away. That's the way it always. You have to understand the policies are permanent. The economy is something that goes from president to president, and there's it's like an earthquake. There's aftershocks. So like with Reagan's economy was so good that there's certain times where hold on. So Carter's economy was so bad. Is it Carter that went to Reagan? Yeah, Carter's economy was so bad. Reagan got blamed for the first 2 years of his presidency. They called it Reaganomics, and it was bad. Then it picked up. The economy was so good that George Bush Sr. was able to ride out 3 years of his presidency on that economy without having to change anything. And then it keeps doing that. But the social policies keep changing. So your economy it can either go good or bad because it depends on who's making legislation at the time. But the social changes, all your laws and all that legislation, that sticks. So at the end, it doesn't matter. Your economy is good. Like I have people who I even say, fuck, I'm guilty of this too, where people, it's like, I would only want Trump back because the economy was good. But then I think about it, it's like, well, what did Trump really do? What did he really do? It's my real question. I'll give him credit. The first 2 years of his presidency were fucking great. They were awesome. When he was president-elect, he was like, hey, I made a deal with Toyota. They're going to fucking open a factory with 25,000 jobs in Joplin, Missouri. Boom. He was doing that every week. He did that for the first 2 fucking years. We're going to open pipelines. And then what happened after 2 fucking years? Anybody remember what he did after 2 years, or do you want me to tell you? He started focusing on the minority vote. He stopped making policy changes. Economy was still good. Economy was good for the first month under Biden, and then Biden started making both really shit policy and economic changes. It is a weird thing where it doesn't matter, and it really doesn't matter anymore. At this point, you might as well have a king. You might as well literally have one dude in charge of all of us. And I'm not advocating for a monarchy, but like, what are we getting out of this? Like, it's stupid. Like, I literally asked, oh, I got to give people wrenches. Where's Trippy? But what are we getting out of this? We're just voting. And then next guy comes. It doesn't matter. Like, the policy changes, like I said, they stick. The economy, they just kind of wiggle in front of you to get your vote. We're going to send those anymore. Well, I'm voting Dan Snot, everybody. That's it. That's it. He's got my vote. I'm writing him in. I'm going to register this year just to write him in. But I do want to give Alzheimer's credit because there was, obviously everybody knows in 81. I think the 2024 elections will be the last election. No, they won't. No, I don't agree with you. Major Tom 2024, I agree with that. No, they won't. There's always going to be the facade of there's always going to be the facade of elections. I mean, they talk about it like everybody always makes that joke 1984 from George Orwell. Yeah, but it's kind of real. They're always going to give you the George Carlin said it best. They will give you the illusion of freedom. That's what we have. We've had it for years. We've had it since 1970, maybe even before then. But I will give old Alzheimer's I'll give him props. After just like a month or a year after he was almost assassinated, somebody popped a balloon.
By its very existence and character, Berlin remains the most compelling argument for an open world. We're reminded of the many traditions of openness and democracy that have marked the history of this city. America missed me.
Let me play this next video. Let me run to the bathroom real quick. God, I hope I can pee before this is up. Share this tab instead. Give me 1 second. Sorry.
It's the last thing Boeing needs in the wake of that flight that lost a door plug in the air. You may have heard about the Boeing cargo jet that made an emergency landing, reportedly because of an engine malfunction. Now we're hearing from the woman who shot the video being seen around the world.
Oh my God, it's on fire.
It's shocking video
It's on fire. Mom.
as flames leap from a plane.
Mayday, mayday, engine fire. Request vectors back to the airport. We have 5 souls on board.
The cargo plane had just taken off from Miami, bound for Puerto Rico.
In real life, it was even more vibrant and vivid.
Melanie Adero shot that amazing video, now being seen around the world. What was going through your mind?
I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. Are there people on that plane? Is the plane going down? Like, what's going on?
The plane made an emergency landing 50 minutes after it took off. No injuries were reported. The owners, Atlas Air, say the Boeing 747 plane experienced an engine malfunction. The drama comes after that other scare involving a Boeing 737 MAX when a door plug blew off.
Oh my God.
Now this fiery drama in the sky.
It's on fire.
Yep. So sorry, I had to pee. Yeah, so Boeing. Holy fuck. Do you understand that? Oh, my green screen's moving. Do you understand that flights right now from New York to Miami last week were fucking $59 round trip? Or no, $59 one way. Not a good look for Boeing. And then there you go. This was the other one.
Since tech businessman Elon Musk is
Elon
facing
Musk.
scrutiny again. He's being criticized for his views on diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts at United Airlines and Boeing. He retweeted one user's
I agree,
post
Dan Snow. I've been
who
on
said
3
pilots or
flights. They were great.
graduates of
But
historically black
that shit is
colleges
getting
and
more prominent.
universities had lower IQs than the rest of the population, meaning white people. My next guest say the original
Oh, he's making a
post
race.
was totally flawed, and there's no problem with
Oh,
black
wait
pilots
for that
in the
back.
cockpit.
2 seconds. I want to hear what he said.
IQs than the rest of the population of historically black colleges and universities had lower IQs than the rest of the population, meaning white people.
Thanks,
My
Boeing.
next guest
Quality
say
control.
the original post was totally flawed, and there's no problem with black pilots in the cockpit.
Joining us on The Factor Uncensored to talk about this tonight, Oliver Brown.
Who is
a
this?
pilot,
Does anyone know who
an
this
attorney,
dude is on the right?
and
The
a
guy who looks like a
proud
goldfish
product
who's
of
yelling?
the HBCU
All right,
system,
turn it up
along with
just a
Todd
little bit. Yeah,
Smith,
absolutely,
who's
dude.
also a product of the HBCU system. When you guys see people making comments like this and Elon Musk
How's that?
agreeing to it, as a pilot, your thoughts on this, Oliver?
Well, first of all, I saw
No, he's not
the
wrong.
tweet that he, I guess, liked or
Just hopes.
commented on, whatever. Those are made up facts and statistics, and that's like common, red herring type bull crap that people use in arguments.
Beba. It's Beba.
It was offensive that Elon, who is in such a prominent position in the aviation industry, i.e. SpaceX and all the stuff that he's done, for him to even think that is
If he's well, I don't know why the subtitles are on. If he's a prominent figure in the aviation industry, doesn't that give him the right to speak on this? Like, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to be play devil's advocate. but he's a dude who literally launches things into the moon. So doesn't that give him the right to say this? And by the way, Elon Musk, I don't trust him. I've never trusted him. I don't care if he brought Twitter. I don't give a flying fuck. God damn, my green screen keeps moving because it's stuck under my chair. But it doesn't matter, guys. I'm moving in fucking 2 weeks. I'll talk about that when it gets closer to the date. Good news on that. But if it's a dude who's like a what do they call that? Aeronautical fucking CEO, like, yeah, he obviously has the right to talk on it. By the way, Elon Musk is autistic as shit. Have you ever watched the specials? They just talk about facts. That's what he's doing. He's just talking facts. And they're going to get mad at him. By the way, dude, you're supposed to be a reporter on Fox 26 and you're using your fucking phone with blur. What the fuck are you doing? Dude, what happened to journalism in this country? I mean, journalism's always sucked since fucking William Randolph Hearst and shit like that. And, you know, the whole yellow media shit. But god damn, this is the best we can fucking do as a country. Jesus fucking Christ.
Realistic. It was very disappointing. I would like to say, though, that
I would like to say though that I'm gay.
Something that they're testing before you become an airline pilot. What they're testing.
Yeah, Pablo, I'll talk to you about it afterwards.
Your ability to critically think during emergency situations. Your ability
I ain't getting no plane, Hannibal. I love it when two men get out of better.
Great in math. I'll tell you right
Isaiah
now.
Hayes out of Florida. Yeah, but who the fuck is he though? Is he like one of those big dudes? Is he a race dude or is he just a dude who gets angry at random shit?
Studies, but some
and
of it
people money. He's not wrong.
It really
There's
takes
nothing
more
wrong with
bronze than brains to get up there. You know,
there's nothing wrong with what he said at all. Nothing. There's no fat on that steak you can trim. What he said is 100% right. You could be offended at it and all that shit. He's just stating something that happens to be statistical, and he's autistic, so statistics are his thing. So I just think that people will play that race card forever. You could show people FBI crime statistics, and they'll be like, ROTC covers them. Pretty base black guy most of the time, but then so he's just trying to egg on a conversation of what you're saying. I didn't know that ROTC covered them. Fuck, now I feel stupid. I don't want to cover them anymore.
You have to have the balls to fly. So
you have to have the balls to fly. It used to be Air Force.
I was really upset that he would try to, basically shame us and make us seem like we're not qualified to be in the cockpit. There's plenty of African American pilots that are more than qualified.
Yes, they're all ex-Air Force pilots.
It's disheartening to see a leader in aviation talk like this.
And Todd, your perspective, are you shocked that now
Todd, your perspective, do you know where Miss Piggy is?
Like this, or he's showing up?
Todd, do you know where Miss Piggy is? Because he's pretty based. It's weird because he kind of, I don't know who he is, and I didn't know that ROTC covered him. This clip is a bad introduction for me because when you're one of those guys in the first clip I see of you is where you're like, is this racist? I'm automatically going to be like, God damn, he's playing a race baiting game. I'd have to listen to this dude I'd have to listen to other clips or see other clips to like kind of fucking figure out who he is. I'm going to put a link in the chat. You don't have to fucking click it. I don't fucking care anymore. I really don't. He's pretty base. So, I mean, if somebody sends me something when the show's over, because I have one more thing after this, then I would love to play it next show. And I would love to correct myself because I know nothing about this dude. It was just that first clip. He just kind of seemed like he was just kind of egging people on for like a fucking response, or he's, you know what I'm saying? Like he's trying to get some sort of fucking thing out of it. Let's finish it.
That's who he is.
Showing us who he is. I mean, he's the reason why we need DEI. He's against DEI.
The link I put in the chat is to buy me a coffee. If you guys want to buy me a coffee, I don't care if you do, if you don't. I do this for fun. I really don't give a shit. Just put it out there.
But think about what that means. diversity. Who is against diversity? When I think about diversity, I'm not just talking about race and gender. As a businessman, I want people younger than me to tell me what's happening. I want people older than me to tell me what they're interested in. So that only helps you from a business perspective. Equity, equality, inclusion. Who doesn't want to be included? But he's the reason why we need these efforts, because if he was around black pilots, maybe or one of the pilots, maybe he would understand how ignorant his comments are.
Well, I want to say something about these programs that have been put in place by the airlines. I was part of just a general internship program
No, he wasn't.
at Continental Express that got me in. I remember a guy, he's a captain over at United now, Brian Shaw, wonderful guy, white man, and he was looking for diversity in the cockpit. And these programs, though, when you go through these,
there's nothing wrong with diversity in the fucking cockpit. I don't give a fuck if you're black, white, Indian, whatever. I really don't care. I don't think anybody fucking cares. I think people are more interested in getting to their destination. Sorry, I'm late. I've been cologne shopping. That's what I would use if I was being gay. No, you're good, dude. We're towards the end anyway. We got a couple minutes left, but I'm glad you're here, Yeti. It sucks. You've been catching the show kind of late, and I miss your tomfoolery. Nobody gives a flying fuck what their pilot is. I'm pretty sure we can all agree on that. I just think it comes down to experience. I would rather a fucking old... Yeah, Yeti is gay, but he's cool gay. So he's like Rob Helford gay. I think anybody would just rather their fucking pilot be fucking experienced. Like I said, it used to be old Air Force pilots. And as long as the pilot ain't a woman. Nah, I had a woman pilot, I think, in Puerto Rico, and she was pretty damn good. She just came on like once or twice. Or maybe she was co-pilot. I don't give a fuck about that, man. As long as it should be one of those things where it's like ex-Air Force. Because like ex-Air Force, they have to go through so many fucking checks in order to fly. It's insane. And then you have to P-test 3 times a day. This other shit, this isn't like what this dude's saying is so fucking wrong. Like just calling somebody a racist because they like DM'd you a clip on Discord. Fuck. Let me see if I can pull it up. Oh wait, hold on. My Discord's not that. Sorry, I have another Discord for my gay pornography. Who the fuck is Discord? Why am I asking you guys that? Sorry, man. It's been a long fucking day, and I've been up since 4 in the morning. Oh, that didn't work. That didn't work. God damn it! Oh wait, I think I found it. Inbox. Nope, it's not in there, buddy. I think you have the wrong Discord. Just hit me up on the just hit it up on fucking Twitter, whatever.
special type programs, it's a lengthy interview process.
I had to change my Discord.
There's a review of all your flight training. After you make it through that, after you've already obtained all the licenses, you're basically reapplying for your licenses again, and then you have to go through rigorous airline training under Part 21, which still has a washout rate. And if you make it...
No, it doesn't. That's not true. He's lying. Not anymore, it doesn't. And in fact, the Army took up the same thing, and now they promoted 10,000 soldiers without the actual training or anything. So he's full of shit. He is completely full of shit. This guy's a fucking liar. The other guy, like I said, you guys said that he's pretty base, but I don't know. I do want to get to the last thing tonight because I want to go play some fucking video games. My mistake. 1 second. I'm going to put that link one more time in the fucking chat. I don't care if you click it or not. I don't give a shit. But I do want to show you something that I thought was kind of cool until I saw the gay shit attached to it, or whatever you want to call it. There we go. By the way, I will say that, so Troy Baker is doing the voice of Indiana Jones. My home airport has the roughest landing strip and the steepest flight. I'm still not afraid of it. Yeah, but you're a psychopath. I just want people who are qualified. Yeah, of course. But fuck, why is my shit going off? Oh, I think you just sent it. Let me see. I'll play this before. Yeah, I'll play this.
Censored. Inflation continues to bitch slap the American family, and that includes at the dinner table. Houston has one of the largest food banks in the country, and the people in charge say they see more and more families looking for that help and help to feed their families in these rough times. And there's a way for you to help out as well. Take a look.
Brian Green joins us from the Houston Food Bank.
Brian Green joins
I
us.
hear there's a growing need, not just here in Houston, but around the country when it comes to people eating and needing the assistance of food banks.
Yeah, pretty much the Feeding America food banks are all reporting the same thing. We just did a survey with our own partner pantries, and 84% report significantly longer or more people requesting food assistance now. In light of inflation, that makes a great deal of sense to us.
And obviously, people can't keep up with the rising cost of food. How does that affect you guys in trying to meet this demand?
Well, it's interesting that actually the rising cost of food is actually only a small component of this. So when you look at rent and transportation costs, that eats up more than half of the household income for the lowest 40% of American households. So those inflation rates have been significantly higher. And the reality of food insecurity is generally not about food, it's about income, where the income doesn't meet. So the rising food prices just makes it even worse. Mm-hmm. Now, in our case, we don't buy most of the food. We go for surplus in the food industry. That's why we're able to do 3 meals for $1. Our challenge is when you have all these shortages, that means there's less surplus, which is bad for us.
Now, how can the public get involved and help out with this situation?
Well, the biggest thing that people can do is actually volunteer. So what food banks do is we go get surplus food and we distribute it through these area charities to help these families. And most of the food that we can get, there's a reason why it was donated. And a lot of times, well, we got to put some work into it to get it ready to distribute. Now, pre-pandemic, we had huge numbers of volunteers. We had 85,000 volunteers a year at Houston Food Bank, and we're still trying to recover, to get back from what the pandemic cost us in terms of volunteering. That is the number one thing that people can do for us is you volunteer here. That enables us to say yes to more of these surplus donations that we have to work.
And what about those families out there who may need assistance and didn't realize, hey, I can knock on the door of the food bank?
Yeah, well, don't knock on the door. Actually, if you just give us a call, or like the best way is if you, because if you use your smartphone, go to the website houstonfoodbank.org. We have a link that you can go to for put in your zip code for need help, your zip code, and that'll show you the pantries that are serving your.
I will play what I was going to do for Pablito. Again, this is really cool because I'll give credit. What's his name? Troy Baker does sound a lot like Indiana Jones, but I just want to show you the picture afterwards. We'll watch the whole trailer, and then I want to show you the picture of one of the consultants or writers or whatever it was. But give me 1 second. So I'm Indiana Jones. I'm gay. That's the way I picture him now.
Let me tell you what you are missing, Dr. Jones. While you were playing your pointless game, I was playing you. You're wondering if maybe you should have built yourself a life of meaning.
Oh, I wanted to play it
instead of ending up here, dead and forgotten in the sense of Africa.
It's basically Uncharted, but Indiana Jones. Oh, I just want to show you the dude.
Myths.
What's his name?
History.
Senior narrative designer. So I think this is going It'd be good to show afterwards.
Just different ways to interpret the
Nah,
past.
I'm like,
Thousands of years of humanity's thoughts and beliefs, scattered and buried.
Sounds like Indiana. It sounds like
just waiting to be found.
You can't just run away from your problems, Indiana.
Watch me.
Actually,
throughout history, mankind has built sites of great spiritual significance. If you were to draw a line through these ancient sites around the globe, you get a perfectly aligned circle.
Imagine making the video game better than
I've had run-ins with these guys before. Trust me, it ain't a walk in the park.
Okay, then. Let's see if you can keep up.
What do you mean if I could keep up? Patron of the fallen angels. Protector of the Chukulimani. The Great Circle.
It's.
You have any idea how old that was?
It sucks kind of that Bethesda's making it because like they're pretty good with their games. But they have a tendency to half-ass write shit. So I mean, like I kind of want to see this, but I do. The reason why I brought this up before we go today, I wanted to show you their senior narrative director, and I'll leave it up. I want you guys. I'm gonna go pee one more time. I want you guys to put some comments in the chat and tell me what you think about that shit. Sorry, I want to take my sweet time. I want to see. No, I didn't forget to play it. Autist, it's a freeze frame. They got rid of the video after this. They literally got rid of it. You cannot find it. They scrubbed it. That is the dude. That's the guy who is making that's the senior narrative director or designer. So they released this video 48 hours ago on Twitter. People screenshotted it, and then they kind of fucking got rid of it. Like, here, let's go. How do I get back? I'm literally on media trying to find this. That's what I was doing while we were talking before, and I kept saying, let me see if I can find this video. Nothing. I even looked up the dude's name. It's been scrubbed completely. Fuck, let me see. What was his name? Edward Curtis Sivis. See? Ain't nothing. That's the one that we just watched. I'm guessing they got so much fucking pushback that they completely removed because he's gay, Corey. I'm guessing they got so much pushback they fucking removed it. People are like, yo, what the fuck is this? Because nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be like, yo, who's working on Indiana Jones? And then some guy comes out with a Fallout New Vegas fucking faux hawk and a shirt like that and just be like, hi, my name's Edward. It's like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is this guy? What a fucking loser. Sucks. Game will probably be decent. Ain't gonna be great. This is the same writing team that did Starfield. Games are gonna suck in the fucking future because that is what we have for writers. Whoo boy. I'm gonna get out of here. I want to go play some video games. I have a lot of shit I have to do tomorrow. Trippy, are you doing a VC later or no? Who's gay? Autist is always gay. He's the gayest guy now. Good night, Pablo. I'm glad I don't play many. Do you play with yourself at least? That's more important. If you can still get off to your hand, you're a fucking man in my book. I got the next Saints Row up. The Saints Row. So the new Saints Row, it sucks, man. I really wanted to like it. I brought it. I brought the season pass because I'm a fucking loser. And I was like, damn, I still remember 1, 2, 3 being good. Played the new one, tried to justify it. It was the easiest shit. Campaign sucked, stories sucked, all the things sucked. They tried to do like everybody's gay type of shit. And I was like, this is fucking terrible. So they completely killed the Saints Row franchise with this Saints Row, whatever it was. Autist, why are you gay? Because he likes men. He's always liked men. His name used to be the Starving Cocksucker, but we changed it. Anywho, fuck it. Let me start getting out of here because I want to go play some video games and shit, and I got a lot to do tomorrow. Like installing fucking handrails because I'm a fucking retard. Hey man, thanks for hanging out for this hour and a half and shit like that. Next week it should be back to normal with the shows, and then obviously moving on. As I get closer to other things, I'll give you the dates of certain things. You guys have a great night. Hey, thanks for hanging out and all that shit, and hope you had a good show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. He's in a relationship with a woman. He just has sex with men. Well, that just means he's gay. I hope you guys had good show and shit like that. And, you know, hit me up on anything, Discord, Twitter, anything you have me on. You guys have a great night. And I'll see you guys the next show.